What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about Cha-ching! Sunset Mantle by Reiss. So, guys, this is actually a fantasy novella, and I know there's not many of them out there, but this one is definitely worth your time. In fact, novellas are something that I personally try to cover on this channel because I think that they're great for slow and struggling readers, as well as for seasoned readers if you're trying to get out of that nasty old reading slump. And honestly, guys, I do think that everybody needs to put this one on their list. Let's get into it. Sunset Mantle tells the tale of a character named Seat. Now, Seat is a hero, but he's also an exile and an outcast. He's basically been shunned for doing the right thing. Now, Seat is just trying to find a place to live out his days. When Seat comes across Reiss Antak, he knows that it's a blossoming settlement, but it doesn't take him long to put two and two together and also realize that the Reiss Antak is doomed. Now, most people would just use logical sense and, hey, it's a doomed settlement. Let's keep on moving. We'll find somewhere else to live. Seat, not so much. He finds a way to dig in. Now, the reason for Seat staying here at Reiss Antak is actually one that's somewhat touching and endearing. He actually falls in love with this piece of art. It's a sunset mantle that's beautiful, and it's woven by a blind woman, and this sunset mantle, this piece of art, has really touched Seat's soul. Seat's decision to stay might be an admirable one, but he's definitely got a world of shit heading his way. He's going to have to navigate a world of political backstabbing as well as just ridiculous laws heaped upon the people here. And this really puts on display a man who has to do the wrong thing to do right by the people. So one of the first things I want to get into with this novella is the pacing, because pacing is definitely one of the things that I criticize almost every novella for, because a lot of times you have a very short amount of time to do a lot of work. And a lot of times I just feel like authors make strange decisions with such tight parameters. But here, Reiss just does good all the way through. This thing shouldn't have this good of pacing. Like, it has the kind of pacing that you would expect out of a full-length novel. And it's just so damn good. There are parts where it slows down, but he's really hitting you with emotional and endearing moments, as well as just information. Everything is just put in play at the right moment to help everything kind of glide along smoothly in such a seamless fucking ride. It is great. The next thing I want to talk about is the action in the book, because it is beautiful, it is visceral, and it is fucking awesome, okay? And the thing is it's gritty to an extent, but I wouldn't call it anywhere near something like grimdark gritty action. But it definitely lets you feel the seriousness of these battles, these fights, and whatnot, even if it's a one-on-one fist fight. And that's something I do want to mention. There is a moment in here where it is described where Seat is like punching this dude in the face, and the way it's described is probably the best description I've ever read of like a fist fight, like a fist hitting and like impact and all that. It is just fucking awesome. It really drew me in. Like I said, their action in this book was, for me, almost perfect. Next, I want to talk about the characters, because I think it's another place where Reiss just excels and shines in this novella. His characters are great. The ones that you are supposed to hate, you're going to hate. And the ones that you're supposed to feel and sympathize for, you will feel and sympathize for. I really I dug what he did with the antagonists, because these are fucking men that are bullshit. You're just you're mad at them because they have a certain power that they can just, hold over others through their laws and all their red tape and bullshit. There are men like this still living today, and trust me, the masses hate them. So good job on Reiss by bringing this kind of, conflicting kind of character into the story for our protagonist to kind of go to battle with. And our protagonist is great. Seat is amazing. This is a dude, he's a hero, but he's the kind of hero I really enjoy. He's one of those honorable men of shame. They are, they're exiles. They're outcast kind of characters, but they're only exiled and outcast for doing the right thing, and they've basically been shunned by some fuckhead, and now they have to live out the rest of their days, with all this social stigma and being a pariah basically for just doing the right thing. So it is always an admirable thing when someone is out there and they're being shunned by the masses but they did the right thing in the end. I have a huge soft spot for that, and that's why I really dig Seat. Now, the main character is obviously very enjoyable, but one thing I feel that Alter Reiss does even more amazing here is that he brings us a strong female character. Morel, the blind woman who weaves this sunset mantle that Seat falls in love with, really is a strong character throughout this tale. She doesn't just bring like a love interest and like, you know, just the love aspect to the tale. She also grounds Seat many times throughout this tale. You could say that she is a voice of reason. This is a woman that does not need eyes in her fucking head to see the bullshit in the world. One element in this book that might not be hitting on all cylinders, especially for something in the fantasy genre, is the magic. There's not really any magic. In fact, I would say this is much more, you know, a low fantasy tale, but there is something kind of spliced in there. Alter Reiss kind of created this somewhat battle shock, kind of berserker rage aspect that people can kind of, you know, have, and Seat has this. So this is something that will pop up, and he has to kind of overcome. As much as it might be an advantage in, you know, in a sticky battle, it could also be, you know, very counterproductive when trying to do the right thing. I also just really quickly want to touch on just the tone of this book. Like I said earlier, there's lots of good action and there's all this stuff going on in here, but it's not a grimdark book, guys. This is by all means an adult fantasy tale, probably falling in the lines of low fantasy, but there are so many things here that this is just not a dark and dastardly tale. This is definitely one of heroism, like doing the right thing. Even when the odds are stacked against you, it's like breaking the law because, you know, the government is corrupt kind of thing. And there's just a whole lot of good stuff here. This is like a wholesome goddamn fantasy tale, even with its little bits of violence and whatnot. It also brings you through a journey like inside. Like you really do get this kind of love story along the way as well that is not cheesy at all. It's endearing and just it's heartfelt, guys. Like I dug this. One last thing I do want to mention is just really the reason why I even picked up the book, and that was because of the cover. Richard Anderson is a cover artist that I love, and his stuff is definitely, you know, his books that are out there are like collectibles to me. I'm always, you know, trying to get my hands on another Richard Anderson cover, and that's really what led me to get this. And it is a stunning ass cover, guys, but I'm glad that Richard Anderson's artwork has led me to several stories that I've just enjoyed the hell out of, guys. So sometimes, you know, they say don't judge a book by a cover, or maybe, you know, even I have said, you know, buying books off the cover can be a bad idea. But at the same time, I have to admit, I have had also at the same time, I've had good experiences with buying books off the cover. When sometimes you find somebody that just clicks with you in an artistic way, you stick with it. Much like how Seat found that sunset mantle and it just spoke to him. You know, there are artists' artwork out there that speak to us as readers, and so that's just sometimes I'm going to pick up a book just because of that cover. Now, as far as my 2 cents for the slow and the struggling, yes, absolutely, this book, this novella, is for you. Guys, I started trying to cover novellas for this channel specifically for the slow and the struggling. So anytime I pretty much do a novella, I'll say, yeah, it's for you. But this one even more so because a lot of the issues I find in novellas, not in this one. This is so damn good and designed well to bring you from point A to point B in style. And this is not just for the slow, and this is for anybody at any level of reading. If you guys are out there and you're in a slump and you just need something to kind of give you that quick fix and get you out of the gutter, well, guess what? Sunset Mantle may be the book for you. I really do believe that all kinds of fucking readers under the umbrella of all shapes and sizes and styles are going to enjoy this for just what it is, a badass little chunk of fantasy. Well, all right, guys. As always, thanks for spending some time down here at the channel and to Alter Reiss. Bada! 2 thumbs up, man. This was just phenomenal. I'm actually going to be looking into more of your stuff because of this book, sir. I am just impressed, and I'm not going to be able to shout out about it enough, really. Like I said, guys, pick it up. It's very quick, and it is so enjoyable. So, yes. Gosh, gosh, gosh. Anyway, if you're new, please like and subscribe. It really does help me grow the channel, guys. And you know what time it is.